Hello everyone and welcome to another session for the banking portal on TalentSprint. I'm looking forward to hear a hi, hello from all of you so that we can start the session. So let's start the session by actually greeting each other and saying a hi and a hello. All right, so I'm looking forward to hear hi's and hellos from some of you guys. Okay, so I can see Himanshu, Ruby, Ritesh, I can see you guys. Hello guys. All right, so I can see some of you who are already there and have already joined our session. Good evening, Himanshu. Well, hi Chaitanya. Well, hi Akash. We are starting right away, Himanshu. Vinod, this is not Rohit sir, this is Surabhi ma'am here today. So apologies for your dear Rohit sir not being here, but I'm sure he'll make up for it in the next week by being there. All right. So the last week on Saturday was a very exciting day for all of us who are preparing for bank exams, and the reason being that the much awaited notification of IBPS about the RRB. Yes, I'm talking about the IBPS RRB notification that came out this Saturday. Now, the notification came out on the 22nd, and like most of us know, that this notification is about recruiting for regional rural banks. We know that across the 29 states in our country, there are lots of rural banks, and all these rural banks recruit through a common exam that is known as the IBPS RRB. So the aim for today's session is that I will first be discussing the notification with you. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask them. And after we discuss the notification, hi Prajakta, since you requested for a special hi. So yeah, Vishal, this is exactly what I was telling everyone about. Today's session, we will be discussing the IBPS RRB notification if you guys have any doubts. And also today, live in front of you guys, we will be filling out, we would be applying for IBPS RRB, because often what happens is while we are filling the form, some of us tend to make a few mistakes. These mistakes may not be noticed while you are writing your prelims or your mains, but eventually when a lot of you will qualify for your mains, you write your mains, you go ahead for the interviews, these mistakes can sometimes prove to be very costly. So the idea of the session is to discuss the notification and to ensure that when you fill out your forms, they are absolutely perfect. All right, so let us start by discussing the IBPS RRB notification. So I have the IBPS RRB notification right in front of me. I'm going to read out some important points to you guys and we are going to discuss it further. All right, so let us start like I always tell you, the RRB notification is about the regional rural banks that are located across the 29 states, and there are many of these banks. Each bank has different vacancies. So every bank has different vacancies, and based on the vacancies that every bank has, they would be recruiting through this common exam. So now the notification was out on Saturday, the 22nd of July, and the online application opened on the 24th. So it is on Monday the 24th that online application has opened, and let me tell you, you can apply only online. There is no way to get the printout of a form, fill it out. It is truly the digital era. All forms have to be filled online, and thankfully while submitting the exam fees, no more standing in long lines, no more standing in SBI, in different branches of SBI getting the challan made. All payments are online. You can choose different methodologies for payment, be it credit card, debit card, net banking, whatever. So that is the idea. All right, so let us start with the important dates. What are the important dates in this exam? Like I said, notification came out on 22nd July. You can start applying from the 24th, that was Monday, and the last date to apply is 14th August, which if you notice, we have got roughly about 21 days to apply for this exam. Today being the 26th, we have about 19 days to apply for this exam. Now, the prelims, like most of these IBPS and banking exams, the exam will be held in 3 steps. There is a prelim, there is a main, followed by an interview. So the prelims will be held on the 9th, 10th, 16th, 17th, 23rd and 24th of September. So I am applying right again. The exams will be held on 9th, 10th, 16th, 17th, 23rd and 24th of September. Mind you, these dates are tentative. The final dates will be published very soon. The result for these will be out sometime in October, after which the mains exam will be held on the 5th and the 11th of November. 5th, 11th November. So if you notice, September you write the pre's, October the result for the pre's comes out, and in November you write the mains, after which in the month of December interviews will be held. Now, this notification is very interesting because there are 2 grade of officers. There is Group A and Group B officers to which you can apply. Now, Group A officers are of 3 categories. So they have something known as Scale 1, Scale 2 and Scale 3. Most of you out there would be applying for Scale 1, which is the post of an assistant manager. The eligibility criteria in terms of age for this is between 18 to 30 years. Scale 2 in Group A is for the level of a manager, where the eligibility criteria is between the age of 21 and 32. And Scale 3 officer is for the designation of a senior manager, where the age limitation, where the eligibility criteria in terms of age is between 21 to 40 years. Now, most of the openings are actually for Group A officer Scale 1, that is assistant manager. There are almost more than 8,000 vacancies in terms of openings for Group A assistant officers. Now, when we talk of Group B are more assistant specialist officers, and they are for different, they're for technical, for marketing, sales and things, for different streams like that. So most of you would actually be applying for Group A Scale 1 officers. Altogether, the IBPS RRB has 15,000 notifications. I'm sorry. Altogether, the IBPS RRB has 15,302 vacancies. जी हाँ, आप में से कुछ लोग जो मुझे हिंदी में बात करने के लिए बोल रहे हैं, तो मैंने जैसा कि बताया कि यहाँ पर 2 टाइप के ऑफिसर्स हैं, ग्रुप ए ऑफिसर, ग्रुप बी ऑफिसर. ग्रुप ए ऑफिसर 3 अलग अलग स्केल के हैं, असिस्टेंट मैनेजर, सीनियर मैनेजर, एंड ऑल टुगेदर सब मिलाकर यहाँ पर 15,302 वैकेंसीज हैं इस बार. ओके, नाउ अब हम आगे बढ़ते हैं कि एज, जैसा कि मैंने आपको बताया कि एज के जो रिलैक्सेशंस हैं वो अलग अलग डिपेंडिंग आप किस कैटेगरी से हैं. अगर आपको कोई रिलैक्सेशन मिल रहा है तो उस हिसाब से जो स्टैंडर्ड गवर्नमेंट एग्जाम के रिलैक्सेशंस होते हैं वही रिलैक्सेशंस यहाँ पर भी आपको मिलेंगे. अब हम थोड़ा सा देख लेते हैं कि अलग अलग उसके लिए एजुकेशन क्वालिफिकेशन क्या है. जैसा कि हम बात कर रहे थे, असिस्टेंट ऑफिसर स्केल 1 के लिए जो असिस्टेंट मैनेजर की पोस्ट है उसके लिए एक बैचलर्स डिग्री, यू नीड अ बैचलर्स डिग्री फ्रॉम एनी रिकॉग्नाइज्ड यूनिवर्सिटी अक्रॉस द कंट्री. इंडिया में किसी भी यूनिवर्सिटी से अगर आप ग्रेजुएट हैं तो आप ग्रुप ए में स्केल 1 ऑफिसर के लिए अप्लाई कर सकते हैं. स्केल 2 ऑफिसर, दैट इज द लेवल ऑफ द मैनेजर, you should have a bachelor's degree from any university in India. Any university in India you can have a bachelor's degree, but here the eligibility criteria of minimum marks is 50%. You should have scored scored at least 50% marks in your graduation recognized from any university across the country. Now, for scale 3 officers in group A, scale 3 officers के लिए भी you should have a bachelor's degree or any equivalent degree from any university in India. And once again, the classification here, the eligibility criteria is 50% marks. Now for the specialist officers like IT officers, treasury officers, marketing officers, agriculture officers, these are all officers in group B. So here, for example, if you want to apply for IT, you should have studied electronics, communication, computer, any computer science, information technology, any of this. Now I just see someone's comment who's asking, Mithun is asking, if distant education degrees are valid. Yes, as long as your distance education degree is from a valid university from India, your degree holds, you are eligible to apply for this exam. Alright, now for the treasury, if you want to, for group B treasury officers, if you want to apply, then you have to be a chartered accountant or an MBA in finance. Arun has asked a question about work experience. Well, Arun, there when we will be filling the form today, you will be seeing that they ask you if you have worked before. Well, Ruby, BTech is required if you are applying for an IT officer, and yes, BTech does hold for a graduation degree, so you are technically eligible to apply for any of the posts in group A. Okay, for treasury, like we said, you need to have be a chartered accountant, or you have to have an MBA degree in finance. If you want to be a marketing officer, once again you need to be an MBA in marketing from any recognized university in the country. Agriculture, to be an agriculture officer, you should have studied any of the different branches of agriculture like agriculture, horticulture, dairy, animal husbandry, forestry, veterinary sciences, agriculture engineering, pisciculture. Any of these would work if you want to apply for the post of a agriculture officer. Now, coming to the pattern of the exam, what is the pattern of the exam going to be? So let us start with the preliminary exam for the assistant officer of scale 1. Preliminary officer assistant, the preliminary exam, the pre-exam for group A scale 1, you will have a regular exam where you will have, there will be 80 questions, 40 questions in reasoning and 40 questions in aptitude. So once again I repeat, 80 questions, 40 in English, 40 in mathematics and 40 in reasoning, and you would be expected to solve these questions in 45 minutes. And for group A assistant officer, the main exams, you will have your regular sections of reasoning, maths, GK, English, and also Hindi will step in here. So you have reasoning, you have numerical ability, you have general awareness, you have English, you have computer science, you also have Hindi here when you would be writing the mains for the RRB Group A Scale 1 officer. Alright, now that we have discussed most of the important things, I'm sure, so like I said, online notification has begun. You can start applying online, and you can apply till the 14th of August. There are the application in itself costs 600 rupees, and well, yeah, that is pretty much it about the notification. I can see a lot of you have asked a lot of questions about the notification. So I can see Ashish's comment on my screen now. Any post or only graduate BCom? Well, Ashish, if you are applying for Group A Scale 1 officers, that is the post of an assistant manager, you can be a graduate in any field. Well, Hindi comes only in the mains. In the prelims, you just have mathematics and reasoning. Well, experience, that while you fill out the form, there is a column that asks you about your experience. Whether you are experienced or not really does make a lot of difference. Well, usually when they are recruiting for the posts of managers and senior managers, that is scale 2 and scale 3, it is in terms of these posts that your work experience actually steps in. When you're applying for scale 1 assistant managers, they don't really look forward to you guys having work experience. Well, the good thing, I don't know it's good or bad, up to you to judge, but there are no openings amongst the 15,302 openings. All are for the post of assistant manager or senior managers. Group B does have some clerical posts, but in Group A there are no clerical posts. Okay, so Deepak here asks, can he apply from a state other than his domicile? Well, Deepak, you can apply, but in that case you must remember you can apply only from one state. You can choose which state you need to apply from, and whichever state you would be applying for, you have to know the mother tongue of that state. For example, if I apply for a rural bank in Andhra Pradesh or in Telangana, I have to know Telugu. If I apply for a rural bank somewhere in Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, Delhi, Jharkhand, I have to know Hindi. If I apply somewhere in Punjab, I have to know Punjabi. So regional languages are extremely important when it comes to regional rural banks, because you have to understand that when you work for a rural bank, you would be working in the rural areas, you would be interacting with people who are not so comfortable with English and Hindi. Therefore your knowledge of local language becomes extremely important. Well, Prabhu here asks, last year he filled the form but did not attempt the exam. Will it count as an attempt? Well, attempt, as long as you fill the form, it is usually counted as an attempt. I am not too sure about this. However, we will check on this and get back to you. Arpit, Hindi questions are asked in the mains, I repeat, not in the prelims. In the mains, questions are asked in Hindi or in the regional language, depending on the part of the country, the state that you would be applying for. Well, Arjun, you say that for Telangana, both Telugu and Urdu are mentioned. It depends from bank to bank. If you open the notification, let me tell you the exact page of the notification. If you open the notification, guys, if some of you actually have the notification, from page 20 to page 32 are the details of all the different banks and the number of vacancies that they have. So some banks may ask you for Telugu, some may ask you for Urdu, but basically it is the commonly spoken language in that state that is needed. Well, Ruby, if you know Hindi, you can apply for Haryana. Well, Meena, in the coming days, we will be not only uploading tips and preparation strategies, but also discussing in live classes with you to help you guys crack the exam. Well, now, without wasting any more time, let's move on and see how to fill out this form. Because what usually happens is that sometimes some of us make these some of us make some mistakes, and when we make these mistakes, they may not prove to be very heavy during pre's and mains, but for the interview, these mistakes, when your document verification happens, it can be extremely difficult. Surya has asked a differentiation between scales. Well, Surya, I'll quickly repeat again. Scale 1 is for assistant manager, scale 2 is for manager, and scale 3 is for senior manager. Well, let's go on and see how to fill out this form. Well, to fill out the form, please log on the IBPS website, that is www.ibps.in. When you log on to the IBPS, website, at the there are two ways how you can actually reach this form. At the top, where you can see that there is a menu that is constantly moving. In the in the constantly moving menu, you will be able to see one one tab, one bar that is talking about this, that is talking about the exam, which is actually here, click online. If you see, click online to apply for RRB's recruitment for officer scale 1, 2, 3 and officer assistant multi-purpose. One way to apply is from here. Second, you can also apply, if you notice here on your screen at the bottom left hand, the second last tab that says CWE RRBs. So we can click on either of these and start. Now, if you notice that you can see this, you can see that we are talking about phase 6, 5 and 4. Well, these are the previous stages of the exam. So all of you would be applying for phase 6. Well, let's click on phase 6 and let us move ahead and see. Well, now we have clicked on phase 6. Now if you notice here, you will see whether you are applying for scale 1, scale 2 or 3, or you're applying for multi-purpose officers. And the last tab, the fourth tab, is to actually view the notification. Now, most of you, I know, we are pretty sure, would be applying for scale 1 of the officer, for scale 1 officers in group A. So, well, let's click here and let's get started. Now, if you notice at the top right hand, there is a bright orange color button that says click here for new registration. So, well, let's click here and let's start our registration process. Click here for new registration. Now, the good thing is that at every point, wherever they think, wherever, the IBPS thinks that there are certain points that, so you need to keep in mind, a pop-up will always come and tell you that these are the points that you have to keep in mind. All right. Okay, so let's continue. Let's start. So I will start by filling out my name. Like I told you guys, my name is Surabhi. Here, for those of you who do not have a middle name, you will notice that it is not a compulsory section. Only the sections that are marked with asterisks, please note, only the sections that are marked with asterisks are compulsory sections, are sections that have to be filled under all circumstances. All right, so let's go to my last name. Well, here comes my last name. My last name is Sehgal. All right, my mobile number, well, let me just put a dummy mobile number. All right, 9876543201. 10. There goes. Now, if you notice once again, the alternative mobile number is not compulsory. You may or you may not fill it. Well, let's go to the email ID. So there goes my email ID, surabhi@gmail.com. They once again ask me to type it out to confirm whether I have typed the right thing or not, whether I have filled in my right details. Now, if you notice, there is this image. You have to see what is written in the image. So here, if you notice, it's written on the screen JFX9X. So JFX9X. Let me quickly run through once to check if I have filled in correctly. My first name, SURABHI. My last name, Sehgal, SEHGAL. My mobile number, 9876543210. Then my email ID and the code, save and next. Please note that no changes in the form can be made once you guys have filled it out. So you have to be extremely careful and extremely precise while you are filling out your forms. All right. So it's asking me, are you sure the data enter is correct, as no change or edit will be allowed once I make the final submit. So, all right. I have decided now. Now comes the trickiest part if you actually ask me. What is so tricky in this part? In this part, we now in the second screen, we actually have to upload our photographs and our scanned signatures. Now, they clearly say that photographs, if you notice, that photographs should be about 2.5 to 3.5 centimeters in terms of dimension, and it should not be it should be about 10 kb to 50 kb. It should not be more than that, between 10 kb to 50 kb. So, well, let's quickly look at what they have to say about the guidelines. So now quickly let's, alright, so if you notice, it has to be a passport size photograph, preferably on a light color or a white background, where you look at the camera straight. In case the flash is on, there should be no red eye. You should not be wearing a cap or any sort of headgear, and there should be no shadows. So yeah, well, that is about taking care. The photograph, like they say, should be between 20 to 50 kb. Well, Raj, 10 to 20 kb is the details for the scanned signature. So the photograph should be between 20 to 50 kb, and the dimensions should be between 200 should be about 200 into 230 pixel. All right, so let's try and fill out my photograph. So since I have already saved my photograph on this, I simply go to choose file, I go to downloads, I have saved it by my name, so there comes Surbhi passport. And please remember, the files have to be in JPEG or JPEG format only. I repeat, they have to be in JPEG or JPEG format only. So like you can all see on the screen, my passport size photograph has been uploaded. Well, now let's move to the signature details, but before that, let's read what do they have to say about the signature. Now, if you notice, the signature has to be done with a black pen on a white paper. So please do not use colorful pens like red, green, blue. Pick up a simple black pen. Do not use a ruled sheet. Do not use fancy papers. Simply sign on a white paper and scan your signature. The dimensions should be preferably 140 to 60 pixel, and it should be about 10 to 20 kb. So well, now once again I'm going to go on to the downloads, and I am going to choose I am going to upload my signature, which I remember Surbhi 1. That is what I saved it as. Now, while it is being uploaded, let me remind you guys that your signature also has to be in JPEG or JPEG format only. Don't try a PDF, don't try a PNG files. All those files will not help. You have to upload both the things only and only in a JPEG or JPEG format only. Now recheck if your picture and your signature is correct, and then move ahead. Click on next. Well, we have clicked on next. All right, now the screen that we are going to see is going to have a lot of questions. For a lot of us, different people, there'll be different answers here. So I'll keep filling this sheet, this page based on my personal details. But wherever you guys have doubts, feel free, ask questions. So well, let's look at it. All right, so it's asking me my category. Well, I belong to the general category. Okay, indicate your so see, the minute I started clicking it, the first thing that happened was IBPS told me that please indicate your category correctly. No change in category will be permitted. So please remember, under no circumstances at any stage in the exam will you be allowed to change the category. Jeevan, you asked a question about the surname. The surname was put on the first sheet where I put in my first name. After that, once again I put in my first name, and then I put in my last name. The option to put your middle name is optional. It is not mandatory or compulsory. Well, Raj has asked a question. Ma'am, a question. One option I have is knowledge of computers. Description, what I write here. Well, we are going to go column by column. So let's try and let's go column by column. So like I say, general, I am not a person with disability, so obviously I'll click no. However, if you are a person with disability, do click yes. Go ahead and click on the kind of disability you have and the percentage of disability that you have. Do you need compensatory? Now, if you notice, till about the question that is still here, do you intend to use the services of a scribe? Well, scribe is another person who would write your exam. So if you notice that since I have said no for disability, till the question that is about, do you intend to use the services of a scribe, all the questions do not hold true for me. So if you notice, even though if I try and answer them, I cannot click on no also. Well, so are you a child family member of someone who died in the 1984 riots? Well, no. My family was thankfully safe at that time. Were you domiciled in Jammu and Kashmir during the period during 1990 to 1989? Well, no, I do not belong to Kashmir, no family there. Which religion do you belong to? So you can see there is a host of options here. Buddhism, Christianity, Hindu, Jain, Muslim, Sikh, Zoroastrian and others. So I am an Hindu. I choose Hindu. Do you belong to the religious minority community? Well, once again, no for me. Are you an ex-serviceman? Well, no, I have never worked in any of the Indian armed forces. Have you joined a government job on the civil side after availing? Well, so if I have never been in the government job, this doesn't hold true for me. So once again, I can't apply to it. Nationality, Indian, since I'm an Indian. Have you appeared for this exam before? Well, I haven't appeared for this exam before, so there goes no. Now, in case some of you have applied for this exam, please put yes. All right, so then they ask you actually how many attempts. Now, if you have given attempts, please mention, and also mention that which of these exams did you, whether you applied for scale 1, scale 2, scale 3, 4, 5, whatever the details, please go ahead and fill them up. The CWE RRB that is being held this time is the CWE RRB 6. All right, so these are the previous attempts. Yes, I have an Aadhaar card. What is my Aadhaar card number? Well, my Aadhaar card number, there it goes. All right, so since I have an Aadhaar card, I would not be having an Aadhaar enrollment number. So once again, does not hold. Do you belong to the states of Assam, Meghalaya, Jammu and Kashmir? Well, again, no for me. I do not belong to any of those states. If you know, okay, I do not belong to any of those states. Which state or UT you want to apply for now? If you notice here, there are a host of options. You can choose whichever state you want to apply for. So since I currently reside in Hyderabad, but my domicile, my hometown is in Lucknow, which is in Uttar Pradesh, I am going to choose Uttar Pradesh for myself here. Center for preliminary exam, well, I can write the exam anywhere in Uttar Pradesh. Now, please notice, if you notice that the minute you choose a home state, which state do you, your domicile, which state do you want to apply from? That minute, please remember that you will have to write the exam from that state only. You cannot apply for one state and write the exam from another state. Because if you notice, I put Uttar Pradesh as the state I want to write the exam from. And all the cities that are there are cities from Uttar Pradesh. Well, okay. So my hometown is Lucknow. There it goes. In case I get selected for the mains, I would once again like to write from Lucknow. Now comes my date of birth. Let me just put something. There goes my date of birth. There goes my date of birth. Well, so next thing that I have to put is my gender. Okay, now wait. I will put a before date of birth so that it's 8/21. All right, so gender, female for me. I am unmarried. What is my father's name? My father's name is... All right. I am being asked for my mother's name. There goes my mom's name too. Now, spouse, not married, doesn't hold true. Address for correspondence. So just let me put my address. Okay. So if you notice, I am putting my address. Okay, what is the district? The district is Lucknow. What is the state? The state is Uttar Pradesh. There I select pin code. There I put the pin code. Now I can easily choose whether my permanent address is the same as my current address. So I would like to put it like that. For those of you whose permanent address and current address is not same, please notice that you can fill out the details differently. Now choose the address for GST invoicing. So what is going to happen? You are going to get a proper letter, a postal letter, a postal document in at your place. So please choose whichever address you want. So I would choose my permanent address, and now comes the time to validate my details. Please remember that you must check, cross-check, recheck, and once again check all your details, because your details are extremely important. Once you put them in, you cannot change them. So and like I said, since I am from the general category, the fee for me is 600 rupees. It may vary for people who come from reserved categories. And now I validate my details. So the good thing is, if you notice, I validated my details and one error was found, and they found an invalid value for my father's name. So looks like they want me to write my father's full name. So there goes my father's full name, and there I'm going to validate my details, and they still say another error. I am figuring out invalid value for father's name. Well, that is indeed my father's name. Let me just, retype. All right, that is my father's name. Well, let's see. And if you notice, there is a pop-up box at the top that says verified successfully. Okay. Now I simply have to save my details and move to the next. Save and move to next. Now I am being asked about my educational qualifications and work experience if I have any. So well, I did study. I did my graduation. So when did I pass out? Okay, date a little difficult to remember, but let's say I passed out in the month of July. I passed out in the year 2016. There go the marks. And class grade, well, first class. Now, depending on what education qualifications you have, you can apply, you can fill up the details. Now, please look carefully at the next section. The next section says whether local language of the state was studied in standard 8th or any level above standard 8th in government recognized boards of education school, or you have certificate for the effect to standard level of. So basically they're asking you that whatever the regional language of the state is that you are applying for, can you actually, do you have a proof? Did you study that language till class 8 or at a higher level? If yes, say yes. If no, say no. So well, I did study Hindi till class 12. So yes for me. And the language for me was Hindi. Do you have computer knowledge? Yes. Now this is a column where, well, RRB means regional rural banks. Somebody has asked. All right, so yes, details of computer knowledge. Computer knowledge, well, if you can write a program, if you're comfortable with Java, you can do testing. For people like me, it would be MS Office, internet, things like that. So whatever you can, please go ahead and fill it. So yes, details of computer knowledge, I would put MS Word, I would say internet, and yes, I do know some tally also. So there it goes. I can easily say what I know. Okay, well, do I have any work experience? So I presently, well, I will say yes. If you say yes, then if you say no, you don't have to fill out anything. If you say yes, you can give up, go ahead and fill all the details of your work experience, and if you are currently working somewhere. Are you desirous of taking pre-exam training applicable only for SC, ST and minority? So for those of you who come from any of these reserved categories and you want a training, you can go ahead and say yes. If yes, then you can select with center. And then the question comes whether if you have ever been caught on the other side of the law, if you have ever broken the law, you have ever been. So well, thankfully I have not done any of those things. No. If yes, you have to go ahead and give details. Then what are the languages that you know? So well, the languages that I know are English, I know Hindi, and well, yes, I happen to know Punjabi too. Now if you would notice, all these you have various columns depending on your ability with the language, your comfort level language. In the language you can fill it. So English I can read, write, speak. Hindi I can read, write, speak. Well, Punjabi I can only speak, I cannot read and write it. Okay, so if you notice, done. Let's validate my details. Once again, successfully verified, and I save and I moved to the next page. Well, okay. Now, if you notice here, please notice at the extreme left, there are lists of banks that I want. And now, if you notice, these are lists of rural banks in the state where I have applied from. So example, if some of you will actually go ahead and apply from West Bengal, you will see Begania Gramin Vikas Bank, Paschim Banga Gramin Bank, Uttar Banga Kshetriya Gramin Bank. If you apply from Tamil Nadu, you will probably see Pallavan Gram Bank and Pandyan Gram Bank. Since I have applied from UP, I am seeing Allahabad UP Gramin Bank, Baroda UP Gramin, all these banks. So you want to work with only few of these banks, you can choose. So well, let's say I want to work with all these banks. There I have chosen. Once again, I validate my details that have been successfully validated. I save and I move to next. Now if you notice, at this page you will get a complete form. A complete form with all the details that you have filled. Please notice, this is a preview of your registration details. So they have given me my registration number and all the details that I have filled. Spend some time here, about 5 to 7 minutes. Read every detail correctly to ensure that whatever you have filled has been filled absolutely correctly. Advisable to take a printout of the same. Alright, now declaration, I declare that I agree with whatever rules and information, that I am responsible totally for my activities, and then finally I submit my form. Please notice carefully the pop-up box that has just come and what it says. It says, are you sure as no change/edit of application form will be allowed after this submit? Means that I have to be absolutely sure of what I'm writing here, because once I have filled this in, under no circumstances will any sort of changes be entertained here at all. Alright, so final submit. I agree with them. Alright, now I once again have to fill in a security code, and my security code is GNTT4. GNTT4. There it goes, and I submit it. Yes, Sangeeta, graduation from any discipline, any university, any subject. I want to submit, okay. Okay, now if you notice, I have come to the payment gateway. Now at the payment gateway, if you notice, you can use a credit card, a debit card, or internet banking. You can fill out the details of your card number, the expiry date of your card, the month, the year, the CVC code, which is a 3-digit code at the back of your number, the name on the card, and click ahead to make payment, after which you will get an OTP on your phone. You put in that 6-digit OTP and your payment is processed. Well, I hope that, guys, any questions that you had about how to fill this form and about the notification per se have been answered. Well, this is all that I wanted to tell you about the IBPS RRB notification, guiding you how to fill it, things that you should have taken, things that you should, keep in mind. Well, yeah, that is the whole idea. Well, Vishal, you have asked me to complete this step. This step is fairly simple. I will repeat it for you. You just have to fill out the card number, the expiry date, the CVC, and the name on the card, and pretty much that is how most of these things happen. Okay, the last date to apply is the 14th of August, and very soon, Meena, like you said, we will be doing specific classes that will help you to crack the IBPS RRB. Well, for today, that is pretty much hear from us at TalentSprint. If you have any questions, please ask. Is there any official IBPS Android app available? Well, for my knowledge, I do not think that IBPS has an app. You have to apply through the website. Okay, Arvind says, scale 2, they have asked for minimum 1 year or core domain. Well, they have asked for scale 2, yes, they have asked for experience. So this experience can be in banking or in core domain. There is no cap on it. Meena, you can apply for Karnataka, but in that case, you cannot apply for any other state. There is someone who's asked a question which I happened to miss in the middle. Tathastu has asked, well, Tathastu, what have you said? Tathastu, you can apply as long as your results are out before you actually take up the exam. Alright, so can I fill officers and officer? Well, you can apply for different groups, but different scales, no. Alright, so for now, ma'am, passing date of graduation is one that appears for the result. Yes, the exam, you should have passed by then. Well, so for now, it is a sign off from us at TalentSprint. Keep watching our videos on YouTube. Do subscribe to our channel and continue, posting queries on YouTube, on our forum. We would be more than glad to answer your queries. So for now, it is bye-bye from me at Surabhi, Surabhi at TalentSprint, and I will be seeing you guys very soon. Bye-bye, guys.